Dolly Parton, the legendary voice of American country music, the woman whose songs, resilience, and kindness have shaped generations, recently found herself at the center of a wave of concern, confusion, and compassion when her sister, Freida Parton, asked fans to pray for her, a simple, heartfelt request that spiraled into widespread speculation about the country icon's health, forcing Freida to step forward and clarify the truth. And what unfolded afterward revealed just how deeply the world still loves and worries for Dolly. The moment Freida posted that message asking for prayers, fans across the globe paused. Because when you hear that someone like Dolly Parton, the embodiment of strength, grace, and generosity, is unwell, it hits different. This isn't just any celebrity. This is Dolly, the Tennessee girl who rose from poverty to global fame, who built an empire with her voice, who gave back tenfold through charity, and who continues to be a beacon of light at 79. So when her sister wrote, "I was up all night praying for my sister Dolly," it didn't take long for fans, the media, and the entire entertainment world to assume the worst. People feared that the postponement of her Las Vegas shows was a sign of something serious, that maybe the woman who has carried American music on her back for decades was quietly fighting something big. But hours later, Freida returned to social media to calm the storm, to set the record straight, to remind the world that love sometimes sounds more dramatic than it means to. In her post, shared on October 7, she said clearly, "I want to clear something up. I didn't mean to scare anyone or make it sound so serious when asking for prayers for Dolly." Her words were steady, loving, and full of that Parton family warmth that fans have known for years. She went on to explain that Dolly had simply been a little under the weather, and that her original post came purely from sisterly concern, not from crisis. It was nothing more than a little sister asking for prayers for her big sister, Freida said, ending her message with gratitude, thanking fans for their love and faith, because in the world of Dolly Parton, faith is not a performance, it's a lifestyle. The misunderstanding had begun days earlier when Dolly herself, ever transparent with her fans, had announced on September 29th that she would have to postpone her Las Vegas concerts, writing, "As many of you know, I've been dealing with some health challenges, and my doctors tell me that I must have a few procedures." That announcement was enough to make headlines on its own, but when Freida followed it with her emotional request for prayers, the story grew legs and ran. Fans filled social media with messages of worry and love. Hashtags about Dolly's health began trending. Radio stations played her songs on repeat. And in that moment, everyone was reminded of how deeply she's embedded in the soul of not just country music, but the very spirit of kindness in entertainment. The thing about Dolly Parton is that she isn't just a star. She's a cultural heartbeat. From Jolene to 9 to 5, from I Will Always Love You to Coat of Many Colors, every note she's ever sung carries a story of perseverance and human truth. So when whispers of her not being well began to circulate, people didn't just worry, they panicked, because the world without Dolly feels unimaginable. But Freida's clarification has since restored calm, painting a more accurate picture. Dolly isn't in danger. She's resting, healing, and doing what doctors ordered. For someone like Dolly, who has spent her entire life pouring her soul into her work, taking a step back for health isn't weakness, it's wisdom. Freida explained that she simply believes in the power of prayer, a phrase that runs deep through the Parton family's faith-driven upbringing in the Smoky Mountains. They were raised in a one-room cabin with 12 children, singing hymns and learning early that faith, family, and music are inseparable. So when Freida asked for prayers, it wasn't drama, it was devotion. Still, the internet being what it is, stories spun fast, headlines exaggerated, and fans filled the blanks with fear. It's a familiar pattern in the age of viral speculation, where one emotional post can become a breaking news alert in minutes. But what Freida did next was exactly what Dolly would have done. She faced it with honesty and love. Her post not only reassured fans, but also served as a reminder of how social media can amplify emotion beyond intent. She wrote, "Thank you all for lifting her up. Your love truly makes a difference," turning what could have been a rumor-fueled frenzy into a moment of unity and appreciation. And that's the essence of Dolly Parton's world: community, connection, and care. Her legacy has always gone beyond music. She has given millions through her Imagination Library, sending free books to children worldwide. She has funded research, donated to hospitals, and even helped fund the Moderna COVID-19 vaccine. She's the rare celebrity who doesn't just talk about kindness, she practices it every single day. That's why fans responded so strongly. They weren't just worried about a famous singer. They were worried about someone who feels like family, someone who has been a voice of comfort for decades. When you think about Dolly Parton, you think about strength wrapped in softness. The sparkle of her sequins matched only by the sincerity of her heart. She has faced health issues before, yet she's always bounced back, smiling, singing, and lifting others up. This latest scare reminded the world that even legends need care, rest, and time. It also showed the bond she shares with Freida, who herself is a singer and has walked a quieter path compared to her sister, but has never stopped supporting her. The Parton family has always been close-knit, and this moment revealed that closeness again, not through stage statements, but through genuine emotion. When Freida said she had been up all night praying, it wasn't a plea for drama. It was a reflection of love. She was doing what sisters do: worry, pray, and hope. And the beauty of it all is that the fans responded with that same love, turning worry into waves of support. In today's entertainment world, where news scandals spread faster than truth, this was a rare example of humanity rising above noise. Instead of criticism, the response was compassion. People from all walks of life, from Nashville to New York to London, sent prayers, songs, and messages of encouragement. It showed that even in a fractured online culture, Dolly Parton's name still unites people. She's more than her rhinestones and hits. She's a symbol of enduring goodness. And that's what makes her so important to people across generations. Freida's clarification wasn't just an update on Dolly's health. It was a reflection of what family and faith still mean in a celebrity-driven world. It showed that behind the glamour, behind the legacy, behind the millions of records sold, there's still a sister who worries, a family that prays, and a woman who, even while under the weather, continues to inspire. Dolly's fans now know she's recovering, resting, and taking care of herself as advised by her doctors, which is exactly what she deserves. At 79, she has nothing left to prove. She has achieved everything: awards, #1 hits, humanitarian honors, and yet she continues to work not for fame, but for love. The postponement of her Las Vegas concerts may have sparked alarm at first, but in truth, it's just a pause, not an end. Dolly has always been one to listen to her body, her faith, and her instincts. She's strong, and as Freida said, with all the prayers being lifted up for her, she's going to be just fine. That confidence, that faith, that sense of gratitude, it's what defines the Parton legacy. And the world has responded exactly how Dolly would have wanted, with kindness, unity, and respect. In a time when the news cycle thrives on chaos, it's rare to see a story unfold with such warmth and truth. There's no scandal here, no hidden drama, no agenda, just a sister showing love and fans showing care. It's a reminder that fame doesn't erase humanity. Dolly Parton, the superstar, is also Dolly, the sister, the daughter, the woman who believes in prayer and healing. Her story today isn't about illness. It's about strength and the power of love shared between family and fans alike. And if you followed her life, you know this isn't the first time she's faced challenges. Over the decades, she's battled rumors, heartbreak, and loss, and every time she's emerged stronger, funnier, and more inspiring than before. So this moment, this brief pause, is just another example of her resilience. Freida's words have brought that reassurance to everyone who loves her, confirming that the Queen of Country is resting, recovering, and being looked after, both by her doctors and by the prayers of millions who adore her. And when she returns, because she always does, it will be with that same sparkle, that same warmth, that same unstoppable spirit that has defined her for over 60 years. Freida's post wasn't just clarification, it was closure for those who feared the worst, and a celebration of faith, family, and the enduring power of love. It reminded everyone that even icons need to rest, even legends need to be cared for, and even the strongest voices sometimes need silence to return stronger. In an industry that moves fast and forgets faster, Dolly Parton continues to prove that authenticity never fades. She's still the same woman who came from the Smoky Mountains with a dream and a guitar, who turned her struggles into songs and her songs into hope. So while she takes this time to recover, the world waits patiently, sending love, not pressure. Because true fans understand, health comes first. This isn't a goodbye, it's a gentle pause before another act in a story that's far from over. Freida's love for her sister shone through every word she wrote, and through her honesty, the world got a glimpse of what really matters behind fame. The bond of family, the power of prayer, and the peace that comes when truth replaces fear. Dolly Parton will always be more than a star. She's a living reminder that kindness, faith, and humility can outshine even the brightest spotlight. And now, as she rests and heals, the world music, her family, and her millions of fans stand by her, grateful, faithful, and ready to welcome her